Hand.
Here.
Beloit. Here. Chapman.
Here.
Ellison here. Mullen.
Here.
Newmaster.
Here.
Thompson. Absent.
Okay. Would everybody please stand, remove your hats, and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America.
and to the republic
which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was a good sound. Thank you. We have before us this evening with the agenda, an agenda. Would ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
There's been a motion by Ms. Beloit. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Newmaster. All those in favor of approving the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And we have before us an agenda. We also have before us a consent agenda. These are our sundry items that typically come before the school board, such as the minutes, paying of invoices, acceptance of gifts, and those sort of things. The one thing that I am very thankful for is the generosity of the community is regarding donations that come into the school district. And this month, we've got some very good-sized donations, and I'm very appreciative of that. So with that, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Chapman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Arcan. This will require a roll call vote, and I would ask the clerk to please read the roll.
Arcand.
Aye.
Beloit.
Aye.
Chapman.
Aye.
Ellison. Aye. Mullen.
Aye.
Newmaster.
Aye.
And the consent agenda is approved. It is now time in our meeting that we do public forum. There are some rules that are established around public forum. I'm going to read those rules, kind of get some of the things out in the beginning just so that everybody knows how the process works, and then we can talk through that. The public forum will be open for up to 30 minutes, 3 minutes per speaker, 10 minutes per topic, no more than 3 speakers per topic as a general rule. Comments should be made brief. Of public comment already expressed at the same meeting should be avoided. Those who wish to address the school board should fill out a public forum speaker card and submit the card to the school board clerk or other district official at the meeting. School district policy and data practice laws preclude the school board from publicly discussing personnel matters or data, including information which, if discussed in a public meeting, could violate laws and policy. Complaints or concerns regarding individual school district employees should be presented in writing to school administration and signed by the person submitting the complaint or the concern. School district policies and data practice laws preclude the school board from publicly discussing student matters and data, including information which, if discussed in a public meeting, could violate law or policy. An appropriate school district official will be assigned to contact the speaker with answers to their questions or with any follow-up information. A handout of the proposed school board meeting and the meeting process is available for each school board meeting. Citizens may be asked to address the school board on a particular subject during the discussion of an item. School board chairperson will attempt a reasonable honor request to speak, but shall also exercise discretion with regard to time considerations, time constraints, and therefore may be limited to the number of requests to speak accordingly. So tonight, the way we're going to do that, because we've got several requests to speak, and I'm going to try to get through as many people as possible, I'm going to hold strict guidelines to the timing. I'm going to ask Mr. Chapman to be the timekeeper. Mr. Chapman will raise the orange card. Can you raise that up, please, sir?
Sure.
He will have the orange card up when there's 1 minute left, the yellow card up when there's 30 seconds left, and then the red card up when its time is expired. I will then tap the gavel to let you know that the time has expired. I will ask Dr. Arcan to monitor the 30-minute time limit to make sure that we keep it right inside of the 30 minutes. So, if you don't get to speak, I apologize. You can submit your questions or any concerns you have in writing to Dr. Kazmierczak or myself. We will make sure that they get addressed. If you have questions that you want to leave the school board with, I will ask Dr. Kazmierczak, if you're making a statement, which is great, please know that the school board members do their very best. They take notes, and that if there's something that needs to be addressed, we'll get it addressed. First informational item, C1, which is student recognition. Dr. Kazmierczak.
All right, thank you, Chair Mullen, members of the board. Give Ms. Fetty a second here to catch up.
You've got that form from Sarah?
Yep, right here.
You pass this way so I can pass it on to the clerk. Thank you.
All right, tonight's school board student recognition video is a compilation of students being honored for state-level activities. Honorees this month are members of our boys and girls track and field team who represented White Bear Lake Area High School at the state meet in June. Well done, students, and thank you, staff and family members who supported the students along the way. All right, thanks, Ms. Fetty.
I just want to make a quick comment and say that I will be very happy when we can get back to doing our student recognition like we've done it before the board meetings, and be shaking everybody's hand. I'm looking forward to that. So I just want to put that on the public record. We will now move into our next informational item, C2, which is the superintendent's report. Dr. Kazmierczak.
All right, thank you, Chair Mullen, members of the board. So with Market Fest starting up a couple of weeks ago, we enjoyed seeing students, families, and community members for the first time in a long time at this fun summertime tradition. Please find us Thursdays at the district's booth on 3rd Street each of the weeks of Market Fest and pick up a pencil and a bear paw tattoo. Congratulations to district students who were winners in the Manitou Days writing contest, which focused on the theme Bears Together this year. The students enjoyed a celebratory pizza and pool party and walked in the Manitou Days parade, handing out pencils to parade goers. Their writings were also published in a recent issue of the White Bear Press. Congratulations, students. With school out for summer, our district is still busy this summer with programs. Students are engaged in extended day and flex, summer school, and activities camps, and many activities in between. Thank you to our students, parents, and staff members who keep our buildings and programs hopping year-round. And thanks to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Nutrition Services is able to extend free meal pickup this summer to all children aged 18 and under. Weekly Wednesday summer meal pickup is available at locations throughout the district, with both morning and evening pickups available. Complete information is available as a news item on the district website. And I want to reiterate, as we mention this each time, I want to reiterate that this program is open to all children and that you are not taking meals away from someone who needs it more. And we have enough food for all who participate. And we are currently accepting enrollment for the 21-22 school year. Families can choose from two options, traditional in-person school and the district's Distance Learning Academy. Find additional information at isd624.org/enroll. All right, that's it. Mr. Mullen.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions for the superintendent during the report? All right, thank you very much. We have no discussion items for this evening, so we will move into our first operational item, which is action on the 10-year LTFM, which is the long-term facility maintenance plan. I know that Mr. Walds from Ms. Johnson.
Yes, good evening. Tonight we ask you to do the annual approval of the LTFM budget. As you remember, you approved it in May when we had the facility maintenance bond sale, but we're also required to do it every July, so it's just rolled forward a year. Otherwise, there's no major changes to the plan that was submitted in May.
Okay. So there's a recommended action to approve the 10-year long-term facility maintenance plan as presented. Is there a motion for the recommended action?
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Chapman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Arcan. Is there any question, discussion regarding the recommended action? Hearing or seeing none, this will require a roll call vote. Would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Arcand?
Aye.
Beloit?
Aye.
Chapman?
Aye.
Ellison, I. Mullen?
Aye.
Newmaster?
Aye.
And the plan is approved. Thank you. We will now move to our next operational item, E2, which is action on the resolution approving 916's LTFM plan.
Yes.
Johnson.
So as a member of Intermediate 916, we also levy for their portion of LTFM, or long-term facility maintenance. So our portion is about $14,000. It's also included in the budget that you just approved. So this is just the formality of approving it so that they can get their portion of funding for their school district.
Ms. Johnson, before we hear the recommended action, can you just tell everybody from the public what 916 is?
Sure. So 916 is an intermediate school district that we are a part of, along with a dozen or so other school districts. They provide a lot of programming, a lot of special ed programming, career and tech programming, a joint venture between our school districts.
Okay, thank you. So the recommended action is to approve the resolution approving the Northeast Metropolitan Intermediate School District 916 long-term facility maintenance budget and authorizing the inclusion of the proportionate share of those projects in the district's application for the long-term facility maintenance revenue as presented.
Yes.
Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
There's been a motion by Dr. Newmaster. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Chapman. Is there any discussion regarding the resolution? Hearing or seeing none, this will require a roll call vote.
Arcand?
Aye.
Beloit?
Aye.
Chapman?
Aye.
Ellison, I. Mullen?
Aye.
Newmaster?
Aye.
All right, and the motion passes. Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson. Our next operational item is E3, action on the renewal membership in the Minnesota State High School League for the 2021-2022 school year. This is an annual one. Mr. Pelican, I don't think is here.
I'm going to handle it.
You're going to handle it? Dr. Kazmierczak.
Basically, I'm going to say what you just said. This is an annual resolution that or a document that we approve. You received the video that the State High School League asks you to review prior to approving, and you all reviewed that. So at this point, we can just move ahead with the approval for our membership in the State High School League for the coming year.
Dr. Kazmierczak, just again, just so the general public knows, the Minnesota High School League, can you just give us a quick who they are, what they are, and what they do?
Yep, Minnesota State High School League. So many of the student activities that our students participate in are affiliated with the Minnesota State High School League. So, for example, the track and field athletes that we just watched on the video who participated in the state track meet, that's a Minnesota State High School League sponsored event. So they have many different programs, athletics and other activities as well, not just athletics, but academic activities as well. So I believe, I suspect their overall enrollment in terms of high schools in the State High School League probably tops 500 schools in the state of Minnesota.
Okay, thank you very much. We've got a recommended action is to approve the membership in the Minnesota High School League for the 2021-22 school year. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
There's been a motion by Dr. Arcan. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Ms. Beloit. Is there any discussion regarding the recommended action? Hearing or seeing none, this will require a roll call vote.
Arcand?
Aye.
Beloit?
Aye.
Chapman?
Aye.
Ellison, I. Mullen?
Aye.
Newmaster?
Aye.
All right, and the motion passes. Thank you. We'll now move to our fourth operational item, action on the designee or identifying official for the authorization from the MDE, External User Access Recertification System. Dr. Kazmierczak, is this you?
Yeah, it's me. Thanks, Chair Mullen, members of the board. So the Minnesota Department of Education requires that school districts annually designate an identified official with authority to comply with the MNIT Enterprise Identity and Access Management Standard, which states that all users all user access rights to Minnesota state systems must be reviewed and recertified at least annually. So the Iowa, or the identified official with authority, is, in our case, the superintendent, so me, and that's been consistent, and so this is an annual approval. You're just approving me to continue in that role. And so there's a recommended action. I'll certainly read it for you. Move to approve Wayne Kazmierczak, superintendent, and Rachel Markison, executive assistant to the superintendent, to add and remove names only as White Bear Lake area schools identified officials with authority as required by the Minnesota Department of Education.
Okay, you've heard the recommended action. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
There's been a motion by Ms. Ellison. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Beloit. Any discussion regarding the recommended action? This is a yearly recommended action that we handle every year. Is there any financial implications to this?
No.
Okay. Hearing or seeing no discussion, is there all in favor of the recommended action? Please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it, and the motion passes. Thank you very much. Okay, we will now move to our fifth operational item, action on the school board committee and school liaison assignments. I know that there's a list in the packet. I believe there was some last-minute ask to change some assignments, so I think what we do is, can we let this roll this for one more month so that we can move it, we can adjust anything that needs to be adjusted?
Yeah, sure, we can have, I can connect with each of you and
Yeah, I just think that, I
adjustments
think there was some ask like to come on and make some changes, and then we can look for some adjustments and move some stuff around.
okay, we'll do, and then we'll bring it in August.
Okay, can I just because it's part of the agenda and I want to make sure that I'm working that through, can we have a motion to move it till next month's agenda?
So moved.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion regarding the recommended motion? Hearing or seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it, and it is moved to the August agenda. All right. Thank you. Next is the action on the resolution establishing dates for filing affidavits for candidacy. Mr. Mauer.
Chair Mullen, members of the board. Before, as part of the board packet, we have a resolution establishing the filing dates for candidacy for school board for this year, and we ask that you approve the resolution.
Okay, do we need to read Mr. Mons, do we need to read the resolution in for the record, or?
No.
Nope. So I look for a motion to recommend to approve the recommended action. I'm getting there.
So moved.
There's been a motion by Ms. Ellison. Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a second by Ms. Beloit. Any discussion regarding the recommended action? Hearing or seeing none, let's have a roll call vote for this.
Arcand?
Aye.
Beloit? Aye. Chapman?
Aye.
Ellison? Aye. Mullen?
Aye.
Newmaster?
Aye.
All right. And then we'll move to number 7, which is action on the resolution relating to the election of school board members and calling the school district general election.
Yep. Thank you, Chair Mullen, members of the board. Yep. And following that, we also have a resolution to call the election for the school board members for this fall on November 2nd. So we'd also ask that you approve the resolution to call the school board election for this fall.
This is customary with any form of election. All right. You've heard the recommended action, or you've seen the recommended action. Is there a motion to approve the recommended action?
So moved.
There's been a motion by Ms. Beloit. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Arcand. Any discussion regarding the recommended action? Hearing or seeing none, this will require a roll call vote.
Arcand?
Aye.
Beloit? Aye. Chapman?
Aye.
Ellison? Aye. Mullen?
Aye.
Newmaster?
Aye.
And the motion passes. Thank you very much, Mr. Mauer. The last agenda item for our operational items is 8, is action on school board policies. As if you don't know what the way the policies work in the district is they're reviewed by a policy committee. We have board members that sit on that policy committee, and they reviewed periodically to make changes and update the policies. They then come back in front of the board for 2 readings. These policies are now for their second reading, which means that they will be then updated if they are passed at this meeting. So what I'd like to do is move them in one fell swoop, move all the policies, and we can move those through, and then if there's any discussion, we can relate to it then. So with that, I would ask for a motion to move policy 410, 416, 495, 608, 729, and 999. Is there a motion to adopt those policies?
So moved.
There's been a motion by Ms. Ellison. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Chapman. Is there any discussion regarding those policies? Dr. Newmaster.
I just have one, and I read them through. Bless the people that get up early and do the policy editing or updating. And my only question was, and now I've lost it, but it was on the drug and alcohol testing, and obviously it's clear if anybody's driving, that's required. But the part that said that, first it said that the district was not required to test applicants who are not driving students. They don't require a commercial driver's license. And that made sense. And then you read a little further down, and it states, if an applicant for a non-driving position, and I've lost, I think it's page 122, but I just bumped my screen. So it sounds like some people may be asked to test, even though it's not required. So my brain would go, if you ask somebody to test and it's not part of their job requirement, but you don't ask everybody to test, that's a can of worms. So I just wanted to have that clarified. If your job doesn't require it, and you're just an applicant at that point. You're not somebody that's working that's maybe had an issue or whatever that might require some kind of question. But it didn't say, yeah, and I almost called you up and asked you about that as I was reading that this afternoon. Because I thought that could be discriminatory, to use a word.
Sure. As a matter of practice, if we were ever going to do that, we would make sure that we were doing that in a non-discriminatory way. So it would probably be the entirety of, the employees that would be applying for a class of position, for instance. I think this is just maintaining our right as an employer to be able to do that. I can tell you that currently that's not a practice that we apply in any cases outside of those that are prescribed by statute, so those driving.
So the intention is that if it were implemented, it would be for all teachers or all.
Yes, we would
whatever.
need to do that in a non-discriminatory way. So we would need to either have foreknowledge that would say, we need to do it in a particular instance, in which case usually you would be doing it from then on, or for an entire class. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it doesn't say that in there, and it does look like it could be individually chosen to be applied.
And we would have that right as an employer, so every employer in the state essentially does. However, that's not our practice, and the way that we would go about that would be doing that for an entire class of employment.
Chair, can I get his name?
Excuse me?
Can I get his name?
His name is Matt Mons. He's the director of HR for the district.
Thank you.
Any other questions there?
Nope, that was a big one.
All right,
Thank you.
sounds good. You bet.
Did you have Mr. Chapman?
Dr. Newmaster, do you know, can you cite for us exactly where Ms. Ellison and I sit on the policy committee? And
I've got in my notes here as I went through page 122. Let me get back to that.
I think you're right. I think that's where it is.
122?
And it's talked about in two different sections. I've got page 122. I forget which section, but let's see. Well, 122 is the second time it's mentioned. It says, if any applicant for a position that does not require a commercial driver's license refuses to undergo drug or alcohol testing pursuant to the job applicant testing provision, shall not be employed. But it said before, just the section before that, said that that would be applied to people who had driving as part of their routine. No legal duty to test was D in the page above that. So that was what was not clear to me. It made sense if you're testing people who are flying an airplane with our kids or.
416-19 is the page?
Or 1618?
18 is the page?
Yeah, 18.
Okay.
Is maybe the first mention, and 122 was the second mention about the consequences of refusing an applicant
Could you
for a
say,
non-commercial.
Before 1619 is the second one.
is that where the second one is?
Yep,
Maybe my
At the
pages
top, number
changed
3.
when I dumped it down.
yeah.
Could be.
Number 2 and 3, it looks like.
Okay.
Do you have anything else, Mr. Chapman? Or are you just reading through it?
It was like C, general limitations, in that section, 41616 it says. I'm looking at the pages on my computer, but the actual pages on the document, it's 416-16, section C, general limitations 1A. And then it goes a little further down about applicant. So that was my only question. Is it randomly applied or applied to all?
And Mr. Mons adequately answered the question?
What our practice is?
Okay. Ms. Ellison, did you,
No, I mean, I would defer to Mr. Mons, but it says just above it that any employee or job applicant whose position does not require a commercial driver's license has the right to refuse. So I interpret the following paragraph on 41619 to say anyone who refuses this testing pursuant to the policies listed above. So it would be, people can, they can refuse the testing if it is not part of their job description and requirements.
Because
Well, it was unclear to me, so I'm going to.
Mr. Mons?
Yeah. And that's. we were-
Should have just stayed right there.
No worries. So on this one, we don't do random testing. If we did, however, and we could institute that practice in the future, ostensibly, then it would be the situation where somebody could refuse. However, that could lead to disciplinary action for that refusal. It would be the same thing if in the future we determined that there was a class of employment that we were going to require drug and alcohol testing for, that could as well become mandatory then. So, it just depends how that works. We don't do any of that, any of the random testing currently.
I just needed clarification because what was in there didn't really tell you what you did.
Sure. Yep.
Mr. Chapman, did you have a question?
well, yeah, Mr. Mons, if somebody has a CDL, a commercial driver's license, under federal and or state law, isn't there a requirement for random testing, I believe?
Correct, but we're talking about outside of
Okay,
that. So
so
for our
we are-
other employment groups,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
That
Just
was where
wanted-
my question was, for the non-driving positions.
Yeah, yeah.
Are there questions, comments regarding said policies? So I'm going to ask the clerk just real quick to read back the motion on the policies and relate to the policy number, just so we make sure we're clear of where things are. Do you want me to read it? Ms. Elson?
I can get back up there.
That's all right, I got it.
Okay.
So we had a motion and a second to approve policy 410, 416, 495, 608, 729, and 999. And with no further discussion, all in favor of approving those policies, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The ayes have it, and the policies are approved and amended. Thank you. It is now time of our meeting for board forum, which allows board members to express things that they'd like to say, and I will open it up. Before I completely open it up, I just want to say that I appreciate everybody's comments this evening. Good, bad, or indifferent. I've always enjoyed hearing from the community of what's going on, and I appreciate you coming to a meeting and telling us how you feel. I know there's a lot of passion out there, a lot about a lot of things, and I'm really appreciative of all your comments. With that, I will open it up to other board members if they have anything under board forum. Seeing none, I will then entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move for an adjournment.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
And we are adjourned. Thank you.